Having made headlines for shooting a cop some months back, Cblu over the last couple of months
first made headlines shooting a cop. So he's gonna, alright. Alright y'all, it's bleak. So that does this. Today we were reacting to the crazy story of Cblu, Bronx'S youngest shooter. Cblu, his songs is tough. And his streaming channel is funny as fuck, bro. I fuck with Cblu heavy. Let me know what y'all think about this in the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what y'all want me to react to. It could be anything. Just let me know. Yeah. Roll to 100K. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the video. Like it. Yeah. Let's get into the video.
Having made headlines for shooting a cop some months back, Cblu over the last couple of months
first made headlines shooting a cop. So he's gonna, alright.
Has faced mounting court cases which appears to be stalling his young career. But his latest win in the courtroom might be evidence of all that is yet to come. Don't skip this video as this is the crazy story of Cblu. Before we start the video, be sure to leave a like, and if you'd like to join this month's giveaway for one of these items on the screen, then all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, and then watch this video to the end to comment the hidden keyword. Good luck! Cblu is gradually becoming one of the rappers from the Bronx who's helping to create and shape the explosive drill scene with tracks like No Ozone and No Ozone Part 2, songs which have amassed large views on YouTube. He's also featured on one of the most energetic drill songs from the Bronx, Geeked. Despite being less skilled when compared to his peers like Dougie B and K-Flock, Cblu has always been working and pushing the drill movement forward even at a young age. The 16-year-old story from wanting to become a biochemist to eventually becoming a rapper is one you've never heard before. Cblu, aka Cameron Williams, was born and raised in the Bronx, and his parents made efforts to make him stay off the streets right from an early age. They try to get him active in sports so as to keep his body and soul together. You guys know that that's not always the case anyways, because if kids are not well watched, especially in an environment like the Bronx where you have crimes, gangs, and drugs in almost every corner of the streets, they might make mistakes. Mistakes that might be grave and fatal, so every parent has to double up their efforts to ensure their kids don't join the bad crowd as to turn out well. Cblu played baseball for about a year or two until the age of 14. Around that time, he was also fully focusing more on music. He was always making beats for his friends as well as freestyling with them in school. He was also focused on school and had the dreams of becoming a biochemist, even though he had recently started homeschooling just last year due to his rising fame as he attained a celebrity status in school and already becoming a distraction. It's funny how things can quickly change, even with the best efforts of his parents to ensure he doesn't mix with the streets. With influence from rapper Lil Plum, Cblu was determined he now wanted to do music, but at the same time he started to surround himself with a very different crowd, a crowd that would land him in his present predicament. But was it the negligence of the parents or the influence of his neighborhood? Just around the age of 14, he was arrested in possession of firearms and charged as a juvenile. He was later released but placed on probation in December of 2020. However, the setback only fueled his desire to make his dream turn to reality. He had released a couple of songs which were well received. Cblu is currently signed to Interscope Records, who gave him a sizable advance upon him putting pen to paper. He also racked up over 4 million views off his songs. Everything now seems to be going according to plan for Cblu. Then comes the news report. The 16-year-old Bronx rapper was on the 18th of January 2021 reportedly arrested and charged with allegedly shooting a police officer during a physical altercation. He initially pleaded not guilty to multiple criminal charges, including second-degree assault and criminal possession of a weapon. His bail was then set at $200,000. The gun that Cblu allegedly fired during the incident was also reportedly stolen. Meanwhile, he was already on probation for gun possession at the time the shooting happened. According to reports back then, Cblu was standing outside of a building on Lorillard Place near 3rd Avenue in the Bronx when a disorderly group was approached by police officers. When Cblu was ordered to remove his hands from his pockets, he began to tussle with an officer who was identified as Kasim Pennant, during which a round of bullets was fired, striking the rapper's torso, with the bullet coming out and grazing the officer's leg. Since then, that incident on that night has ensured that more has been heard about Cblu's problems with the laws than his music anyways. Following his arrest, the police chief also had said in a press statement that Cblu was a menace in the neighborhood and that he had affiliations with the Crips gang. He also said that the rapper had appeared on several social media posts flaunting a weapon that looks like the one used for the latest incident. Cblu's role in the shooting wasn't clear at first, but it drew lots of condemnation from the public, and with many concerned that a 16-year-old could put the life of an officer at risk by shooting him. Using an advance from his deal with Interscope Records, Cblu was able to post bond and act.
By the way, if I keep looking like at the side, I'm looking out for my shoes. Shoe collection video on the way.
Which drew lots of negative reactions from the police department and even the public. Prosecutors wanted him to be held without bail, but acting Bronx Supreme Court Justice Dennis Boyle set his bond at $250,000 anyway. NYPD Police Benevolent Association president also said this in a statement shortly after the rapper was released on bond. If anybody wants to know why we have a crisis of violence in this city, or why we're about to bury 2 hero police officers, look no further than this disgraceful bail release. This individual chose to carry illegal guns twice. He chose to fight with and shoot a New York City police officer. There's no reason to believe he won't do the exact same thing when he's out on the streets tonight. Shame on Judge Dennis Boyle for allowing this to happen. The people of the Bronx won't be safe as long as he's on the bench. The police considered Cblu to be dangerous to society, which is something that is disturbing when you consider his age. This kid is only 16 for God's sake. At that age, shouldn't his 100% focus be on his grades and how to do better? Damn, so shameful. Even though Cblu was able to post his bond and get out, his freedom wouldn't be for long though. He was later rearrested almost immediately for violating the terms of his probation and was consequently ordered back to Brooklyn's Crossroads Juvenile Center because the gun he allegedly used to shoot the police officer violated the terms of his probation from a 2020 weapons case. Remember, I told you the prosecutors were against his bond, but I guess they'll be happy now that he's been locked up. NYPD Police Benevolent Association President Patrick Lynch, who was earlier critical of his release, even released another comment on his rearrest. We're glad that a cop shooter is back off the streets, but this revolving door for a repeat gun offender makes no sense whatsoever. It should be clear to every New Yorker that our justice system is broken in many places. Our lawmakers need to prioritize fixing it above everything else. Some fans at that time felt the outrage caused by his early release is understandable because if you look at it this way, how many more gun incidents does the rapper have to be involved in before he's properly reprimanded? However, some felt the 16-year-old was only a victim of circumstances considering the environment and neighborhood he happens to find himself in. Cblu's problem with the police authorities soon began reaching a point where even he himself would feel he had the chance of avoiding jail time. A Bronx judge later ruled to move the case of 16-year-old drill rapper from an adult criminal court to a family court after accusing a police officer of providing unreliable testimony that had no value about the night the teen allegedly shot a cop during the scuffle. Wow, wow, wow. The judge said that even Cblu was in possession of an illegal gun. Prior to the shooting, police officers had no apparent reason to try to search him. According to Judge Naida Samaj, they approached him, they detained him, they searched him, and no officer even bothered to come up with a halfway legitimate reason for any of that. She also said the video evidence that was shown in court proves that the rapper went out of his way to cooperate with the police by keeping his hands up, recording what was happening on his phone as proof, and answering officers' questions. While there's no disputing the fact that Mr. Williams had a gun on him that night, he literally does everything you tell your child to do when you're approached by cops. The judge also went for the second police officer who was at the scene, claiming that his testimony about the incident was absolutely not credible and inconsistent with both the video and his fellow officer's testimony, while the prosecutors failed to show that the said officer actually suffered any significant physical injury despite being shot. Just like cases of this nature, the judge's ruling has however raised a few other questions amongst fans. There have been rumors from some quarters that the police officer singled out Cblu from the crowd for arrest because he was a rapper. There were even some who felt the officers might have gotten away with the wrong accusation had there been no video evidence. So were they really lying about their versions of the events? Some have even accused the New York mayor for using the case in his fight to amend the state's bail laws. He has reportedly called for the state's bail laws to be amended to let judges consider a defendant's dangerousness, something which has been barred for decades. Meanwhile, under the current system, judges setting bail conditions can only consider the risk of flight and the likelihood a defendant will return to court. So it's looking like Cblu was only a victim of circumstance, and maybe the outcome would have been different had there been no video evidence. Police authorities at this moment are not ready to back down anytime soon, which means Cblu isn't free just yet. They've also released a statement vowing to press ahead with the case. A 16-year-old and a police officer were each shot and wounded in this incident. The bullet came from a gun being carried by a teenager who was released in a prior gun arrest. The officers were on patrol that night for the sole purpose of keeping our citizens safe. Those are the most critically important elements of this case. This is dangerous work, but the intent is to foster peace and achieve just outcomes for all New Yorkers, whether they're victims, witnesses, or young people who make wrong decisions to carry firearms. We may respectfully disagree with the judge, but we intend to litigate this case in the courtroom. Those words show that the rapper wouldn't be let off the hook easily, even though you also have to feel for him. I'm sure even if you wanted to shoot the officer, he wouldn't be shooting himself too. Whatsoever the outcome of the case is at the end of the day, we just hope he learns his lesson. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. Let me know what you think about the story in the comment section. Hey you, yeah you like this video? Great, we've got another one for you that we guarantee you'll like, and all you have to do is click on the screen. It's free and without any hidden fees, but you have to click on it fast because this message is self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Alright, y'all. They say Cblu was a real life menace, bro. That's crazy. When you live in an environment that he lives in, you sometimes are a product of your environment. So, here's what it is, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video to your sister and your mother that lives in Europe, and the continent that lives in, drumroll please, India. I love y'all. Follow your dreams because nobody gonna follow your dreams for you. I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and we out.